In this interview, we sit down with Louise, a former British Airways crew member turned full-time property investor.
All I ever really wanted to do was just travel. I love travelling. Why not be paid to travel? I've always been slightly obsessed with property, like I'm sure a lot of people on the academy are. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just sort of bought a doer-upper, lived in it for a few years and just sort of learnt as I went along.
Louise shares how she made £120,000 profit flipping a rundown auction property.
This house was it was such a state. It was only a 3-bed semi. It used to be like the village school years ago. We literally had to strip the whole house and we did it all ourselves. We bought it for 255. We spent a total of about 60,000. It was valued at 435.
Come on.
So, yeah.
And now earns £2,500 a month in passive income through social housing.
The difference is with the social housing, you don't pay any of the utility bills, you don't have to pay for any maintenance and things like that. Often it'll be a little bit more rent than what a normal standard AST pays. So they just pay you and it's on like a 4 or 5 year contract. They pay all the utility bills, they look after like the day-to-day maintenance, but we should make somewhere around sort of £2,500 profit a month just on that one house.
She dives into her buy, refurbish, sell strategy, navigating auction purchases and leveraging social housing providers like Serco and Clare Springs. We also explore her goals of reaching £10,000 monthly passive income, the challenges of investing in the South, and her inspiring reason for pursuing financial freedom.
Hello and welcome to Samuel Leeds Success Stories. Today we are sitting with Louise Caridia. Welcome, Louise.
Hi, Patricia.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. So thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing about this amazing flip, so we're going to get into that. But before we do, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Louise was doing before joining the academy?
Yeah, sure. So before the academy, it was completely different. I had a career of 24 years at British Airways.
Wow.
So
24 years.
I know. It makes me feel so old. Yeah, I joined there on like a graduate scheme, worked in like project management and all that sort of stuff. I realised very quickly that I absolutely hated the office environment and the corporate things. And all I ever really wanted to do was just travel the world. So I switched to being crew. And I thought, I love traveling. Why not be paid to travel?
Right.
so yeah, and it was absolutely amazing. Yeah, absolutely loved it. And 24 years later, I'm still there. So,
what were some of the best parts about working for British Airways? What did you enjoy?
I mean, obviously, it's like I say, I've travelled to quite a lot of parts of the world now.
Like, what were your favourites?
Do you know what? I'm not saying it because you're from there, but one of my favourite places is Canada. But the Canadian Rockies, like Banff,
gorgeous.
Jasper, that whole area, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. But it's so difficult to say which place is your favourite because so many different places are good in their own way, So, I love Canada, lots of places in Europe, the Far East. I mean, there's just, it depends what you like really. But yeah, I've been very lucky and fortunate to sort of see a lot of the world. And obviously the staff travel perks are obviously nice to have.
That is nice.
So, yeah.
And then you stepped into a completely different environment, a completely different world of property.
Yeah.
And how did that happen?
To be honest, I've always been slightly obsessed with property, like I'm sure a lot of people on the academy are. Ever since I was like really little, it was two things. It was my love of like travel and property. I was super nosy. I just loved looking around houses and seeing what you could do to it. And so yeah, I always loved it. My very first place I bought, I've never bought new houses. I've never bought nice, clean, tidy houses. I've just always bought like doer-uppers. So I had sort of like dabbled in property, but it was just sort of, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just sort of bought a doer-upper, lived in it for a few years and just sort of kind of learnt as I went along.
So can we know about this doer-upper?
I
I need specifics.
Yeah, I mean, God, it was quite a few years ago now. But the first one I bought, it was a house in Reading, and it was kind of like that worst house on the best street type of thing.
Perfect.
And I was literally like first time buyer. And to be honest, I mean, money wise, I probably only made like 30,000 or something like that over the course of, I lived there a few years. But it was more like learning all the trades and learning sort of all the DIY stuff, did lots of tiling and putting flooring down and just all the little things that then stood me in good stead later now that I've got into property. So yeah, just sort of dabbled in it really.
Wow, so you're hands-on.
Yeah,
Good for you.
I like to kind of know how things work. So I think mainly just so that you don't get like kind of messed about by builders and things like that. So I just thought, well, if I know how it works and how much things should cost and how long things should take, then it just makes it easier to sort of know if you're getting a good deal or not when
So
you
true.
get builders. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what were the numbers on that first one?
Oh my gosh, that was quite a few years ago. I bought it for 175, I remember that much. I would have only spent probably 10, 15,000 on it, but like I say, it was over the course of a few years. And then I think I sold it for just shy of 300.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So it was, like I say, it was over a few years, but I definitely learned a lot of the sort of the trades and how things work. So that was a good start.
Yeah. And you sold it, you flipped it.
Yeah, sold that a few years ago. And then after that I bought, I sort of downsized. I got divorced, but it was all amicable, everything's fine. and so I just wanted to downsize and have something a bit more manageable. So I just bought like a little flat in a really, really lovely area, little village. And yeah, again, it was only just a very small amount. I wasn't really buying that one for profit as such. But again, I bought it. It was a doer-upper. It was all like a little old lady had lived there, So bought that one. I think, what was that? That was 155, I think. And yeah, I did pretty much all the work myself there. So I probably only spent about 5,000 or 6,000 and sold it for about 190, I think it was.
Wow.
Years later. So yeah, just again, it wasn't intended to do it as a flip. It was more just, where I was living at the time.
Right.
But I just always loved the whole like doing things up and, sort of seeing like a really rundown house and thinking, what would I do with that? How would I change it? So yeah, that's where it all started.
I live right next door to like a big derelict house.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it's so gorgeous. I'm like, how do I get my hands on this house?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not listed.
Would you try if you knew sort of
I
owned
did
it?
a whole bunch of like research and found out who owns it. And it's not, I haven't reached out, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You're just stalking it
I'm
at the
just
moment.
stalking it.
Like, keep an eye on it.
So when did you join the academy? Was that before or after these flips?
It was after those flips.
Okay.
So I joined just over a year ago. It was March last year. So what's that, 14 months ago?
Did you start at the crash course like everyone
I
else?
did, of course.
Which
yeah.
one did you go to?
It was the London one.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? It was actually, my other half. He was away snowboarding with his mates at the time. So I was like, at home on my own, just sort of, looking on YouTube at property stuff. And I don't know how, but somehow, obviously, I found Samuel. I was like obsessed. Like all the winners on a Wednesday that there was just, I must have binge watched a year's worth of them or something.
Oh, right. I know, me too.
I just couldn't get enough. I was just like, oh my God, these people, they sound like so knowledgeable and yet they're just totally normal people.
Yeah.
I was just addicted. So in the week that my other half was away, I literally binge watched all these winners, booked onto the crash course, and and kind of that's how it all started, really.
Oh my gosh. What did your partner think when he came back from holiday?
I think he was a bit like, what on earth? I only went away for a week. I was like, oh my God. I just had like verbal diarrhea trying to tell him absolutely everything that I was like, oh my God, this guy Samuel Leeds and stuff, I think he was just like, what?
What does your partner do?
So he's a fireman. He's a watch manager for the fire brigade. But he's also worked on building sites a lot. A lot of firemen like tend to have a second job as well.
I heard that.
So
that's great.
So he's done a lot of building work. He's like built his own extensions and stuff.
Oh,
so
amazing.
he's brilliant on the like the building work side.
Yeah.
But he's not very good at. He doesn't have like the patience to deal with the people and like stacking the numbers and stuff. He leaves that all to me. So.
And that's pretty typical, right? That's
Yeah.
why you need like, both kind of partners in there. Somebody
Definitely.
front of house and somebody back of house, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And so what did you think joining the academy? Was it what you thought or
Oh my God.
what were your expectations?
Honestly, it's just been absolutely mental. Like it literally has just taken over my life for starters. But it's honestly been like incredible. It's when I first sort of joined the academy, well, after the crash course, I signed up for the BRR course, the live training.
Yeah.
And I thought I'll just do that because, that's what I'm interested in. And I just sort of wanted to learn. I thought if I'm going to go into property, I've dabbled in it. I know a little bit about renovations and this and that. But I thought if I'm going to go into it properly, I need to do it properly. I need to make sure I get educated and don't make mistakes basically. So I went on the BRR course, and of course you're in a room full of like half the people in there were like academy members. And they're all chatting and like the energy in the room is crazy and you're hearing all these like people with so much success, and I just thought, oh my God, like I need to be on that, I need to be in that. So I joined the academy and it's just bonkers. It's like, yes, you have all the training and like learning all these different strategies that half of them you've never heard of, or you only know like little bits and bobs about.
Which ones did you not know about?
It was more, I didn't really, the lease option.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that all about? I know now, but like that's crazy. And also the one I was really interested in is all like the commercial properties.
So cool.
Like, it's kind of a thing that some people do, but it feels like a very secret group that know about how to do it.
Exactly.
So I loved the commercial property. But the training's great, but to be honest, the academy was like, all the networking.
Yeah.
And it's not just networking, because networking feels very like businessy, whereas this is more like you build friendships.
It's so true. Friendships for life.
Honestly.
Well, I see you every month and you've got your crew of all of your friends and you're running around meeting new people and you've always got this big smile and we give a big hug.
Everyone's just, do you know what? That's the other thing with it as well, because you would think technically we're kind of like should all be in competition with each other because we're all in property, we're all trying to get our rent to rents or our BRRs or whatever. Yeah. But there's literally there's no competition in the academy at all.
Right.
Is there?
There's none.
It's just literally like everyone bigs each other up. Yeah. Everyone's like helping each other out, and like I have Zoom calls with friends, like helping them stack deals, and you just. I don't know, it's just really, really uplifting.
Yeah.
And I've made like really, really good friends.
Yeah.
And it just literally takes over your life, really. I couldn't imagine. I don't think I'll ever not be in the academy. I'm a lifer, definitely.
I know. I'm a lifer. I just put that on one of Samuel's posts. I'm like, I'm a lifer.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been fab.
Okay, so let's talk about this big deal.
Oh, yeah.
The big flip.
Okay.
Okay, start from the beginning, please.
Oh, God. Okay, right. I'll try and keep it brief. So we bought it at auction, for starters. Uh-huh. So that was interesting.
So have you bought anything from auction before?
We hadn't. No, that was our first one. We tried bidding previously on a couple of other things, but we'd been unsuccessful. We'd been outbid and stuff. But yeah, this one, and it was like a traditional online auction, with the guy with the gavel, all very, and so it was all quite sort of exciting but nerve-wracking as well, because it's like, if you get it, you're committed, there's no backing out.
I know. It's really like high stakes, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So but we made sure we'd had the legal pack checked by a solicitor. Right. Obviously we went and viewed it. We knew, this house was like, it was such a state. It was just sort of I mean, everything and anything would probably come up in a survey on it. It was
Oh,
like,
no
it was
way.
so,
How big was
so
it?
bad. It was only a 3-bed semi. It used to be like the village school years ago.
Oh, I love that. So it had some history.
But it was big as in it was big work-wise. We literally had to strip the whole house back to brick. And we did it all ourselves.
Wow.
Like chiseling off all the plaster on our days off.
Oh.
Yeah, and just had to literally sort of batten and board the whole property. We had to there was no central heating at all. The lady that lived there, she lived there her whole life into her 90s. So she lived there probably 70 odd years, and she had no central heating. She just had like this little back boiler where you shovel coal onto it, and that was it. She just... I mean, it's crazy how she lived there, but
Well, you know, people from that generation are so much tougher than everybody else,
tough.
right?
I know, it's so tough. We just would not cope.
No, we'd be like, what's going on?
Oh God, what? So no central heating. The electrics, like there was only one electrical socket in the whole of the upstairs.
Oh, come on.
I know. I went to like plug the Hoover and I was like, there's literally no plugs. There was one plug
Oh my gosh.
in one of the bedrooms. But yeah, it was shocking. So we bought it at auction. Obviously, we were successful.
How much did you buy it for?
We bought it for 255.
Great.
Our maximum bid was going to be 260. So we came in just under. So paid 255. Like I said, we did do all the work ourselves. So the budget, we spent a total of about 60,000. It would have been a lot more if you had builders come in.
How much more would it have been?
It would definitely have been over 100, probably more than that, to be honest. I mean, it would have been quicker though. So it's a balancing act, isn't it? Like moving forward, we said we would, although we've got the knowledge, we would get builders in to do some of the work just to speed things up.
Right.
But with this one, it was like a labour of love. We just wanted to do the whole thing ourselves. And, you know, and the experience you get from it now, I mean, literally nothing is going to faze you compared to that project. You know?
What's the GDV?
So we paid 255, we spent 60, and it was valued at, let me remember now, it was valued at 435.
Come on.
So, yeah.
Wow, high five.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Did you know that going into it?
It was higher than we expected, yeah. We were hoping for somewhere around the sort of 400. Like if we tipped into that 400 mark, we'd have been happy. So to get the valuation at 435, it was like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Happy dance.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you do? You refinance and then you just put it into something else?
Yeah, so we've sold that, and then literally we completed on that house, and then 10 days later we put in a pre-auction offer for another property. we were planning on having like a bit of a break, to be fair.
Right.
And we'd booked a holiday, and we thought, oh, that's nice. Yeah, finally, after 18 months of hard work, you know, was sell it, have a little bit of a break, you know. And but this property came up, and it was such a good deal. It was so good. It was just like, we've got to go.
Okay, let's hear it. Okay, so what was the property?
Okay, so this one is, I mean, technically it's a 3-bed detached house in an area so just outside Southampton, a place called Eastleigh. But it's not in an Article 4 area, and technically you could run it as a 5-bed HMO.
Okay.
But I've spoken to the social housing providers, spoke to them, and it's not all 100% confirmed yet, but on initial conversations with them, they said they would like to take it on.
Social housing?
Yes.
Okay.
So it would be as a sort of 3/4 bed family home. And yeah, when I did the figures on it, it basically worked out, depending on what they finalise their figures on, but we should make somewhere around sort of £2,500 profit a month just on that one house.
Wow.
And obviously it's passive.
Totally
you just give it to them and they'll have it for 4 or 5 years. You know, there's no maintenance, no management. They'll take it, you know.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, when I started the academy, nobody was really talking about social housing.
Yeah.
And now, like the last couple of years, it's only what people are talking about.
Yeah.
So how would somebody do that? Do you reach out to social housing providers, the council? What would I Google?
What would I Google? Yeah, to be honest, I was the same. It was one of those things I'd never heard of it. It is quite difficult if you want to go down like the council route, those sorts of things. I think it's harder to sort of, you just have to contact someone in the housing department in the council. From what I've heard with other people, it's quite difficult to get someone to, speak to at the council. But this was actually, there are sort of 2 or 3 social housing providers across the country that they're quite big social housing companies, that they are sort of actively asking for landlords to sort of give them properties. They're desperate for properties, basically.
And who are they? Are you allowed to say who they are?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Can I say it? I don't know. I probably can. There's 3, depending on which part of the country you're in. You've got Serco, Mears, and Clare Springs.
Okay.
So Serco and Mears. Mears is more northeast. Serco is more sort of northwest and Midlands, and then Clare Springs tends to be more like the south. So I just sort of phoned them, had a really good chat. They explained what they were after, what they need, what their requirements are. So I had a good chat, showed them that they asked for all the details of this property, like the full address, the floor plans, etc. Had a good chat. And they will tell you, in theory, yes, we want it. They can't say 100% definite at that point, because the house has to go through several like council checks and police checks and things like that, which it's going through at the moment. So
right. So how long would that process take then?
It should only be like a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's good.
So the only issue was, obviously, because this was an auction property, we kind of had to make the decision without knowing whether it would pass the checks. So, but we've got like a plan B and a plan C for the property. So that's what made us confident in purchasing at auction. If it had literally been, it would work on social housing, but if social housing didn't take it, it would be an absolute nightmare. Then we wouldn't have bought it.
Right.
I always like to have like a plan B.
Right.
So if they decide they can't take it for whatever reason, then we've got plan B. You could run it as an HMO, which would also be profitable. Or worst case, we can do it as a flip again and sell it and make profit that way. So we're hoping we've got all our bases covered.
Yeah, lots of exit strategies. That's good. So, and that would be, you would gain more from a social housing strategy as opposed to buy to let or HMO.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely in this situation. Yes.
Why would the council pay you more than just hand it over to like a single let rental?
So it's not the council. It's like this sort of this sort of social housing company that have like contracts with the government to house people. Okay. But I think they just they're desperate for houses. They need a certain number of houses. They've got a lot of people to sort of that they have to house. It is kind of in line with sort of LHA rates, which is sort of your council rates and things like that. But I think the difference is with the social housing, you don't pay any of the utility bills, you don't have to pay for any maintenance and things like that. So you're getting a similar amount of rent. Often it'll be a little bit more rent than what a normal standard AST it pays. But you don't have any of the sort of difficulties with it.
Right.
They pay all the utilities. So they just pay you, and it's on like a 4 or 5 year contract. They pay all the utility bills. They look after like the day-to-day maintenance. We'd still be responsible for like bigger things like the boiler and things like that.
Right.
But it's hands off, and it's a long contract. You don't have to think, with an HMO, they might be coming and going every 6 months, and one room's full and one room's not. It's more sort of it's less passive, isn't it? So yeah,
it's brilliant. Honestly, I think that whole strategy is amazing. It's lucrative and it's passive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's great.
That's it. And hopefully it's helping people as well, which is a nice little bonus as well.
Honestly, we are in a housing crisis. We need these houses, like you said, right? So let's find these safe houses for people to go, especially vulnerable tenants. We need to protect them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Okay, so what's next?
What's next? Oh my God. Well, that one, so we completed complete on that auction property in about a week's time. So I just kind of want to get that done.
Yes.
And then I've got a few other things in the pipeline, but I just want to get this completed first.
And did you buy it cash?
We did buy this one cash in the end, but we're not going to keep it cash. We bought it cash because it's an auction property, rather than doing all the bridging and stuff, which just kind of adds a bit more complexity when you're buying at auction. So we bought it cash, and then we'll do the refurb, which we're hoping should only take about 6 to 8 weeks. And then we'll refinance it, put it on a mortgage, and it should be near enough all money out. We might leave about 15,000 in.
Okay.
So then once we refinance, and then obviously hopefully go again when we find another one.
Right. So you're just going to keep scaling.
That's the plan now. Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, we still love our flips. We still definitely still want to do flips.
Yeah.
But we want to start getting like the cash flow up. But yeah, I'll always be a flipper. My friends down in Southampton, 2 of the guys down there, Adam Barker, who you know, and Ruben Wincott.
Oh yeah.
In fact, it was Ruben that started it. He calls me the flipper. It's just kind of stuck, and I think
Ruben's
that's always
so funny, isn't he?
So funny.
Oh my
Absolutely love him.
gosh.
Absolutely hilarious.
I was hanging out with him during the eviction, and he just had me in stitches the whole time. He's so
just
funny.
So sarcastic, so funny, isn't he? You just
He's
can't
so
take him
fast.
seriously. He's brilliant. Yeah.
And the two of them must be hilarious together.
The two of them together, Adam and Ruben, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're just, oh God, like a little double act.
I know. But that's what I love about the Academy, right? Because then you find nice, funny, cool, smart, successful people. And that's kind of like who you want to hang out with, right?
That's it, yeah. We've got a good group.
And so you are an inner circle leader for Southampton.
I am,
Yes. I had the honor of coming to see your inner circle a few weeks
it was
ago.
such a surprise seeing your little face walk in. It's so nice.
That was so fun. Okay, so how long have you been an inner circle leader?
We started Southampton, I think it was about September last year.
Yeah.
So 9 months or so. And we've got such a really nice group of people down there.
Yeah.
It's a really good vibe, lots of positivity, lots of fun, and obviously lots of, business as well. So really nice. And obviously working with Adam's always a giggle.
I know. He's so funny. And Emma, and then
Emma's just absolute sweetheart. She's so lovely.
Sweet. And then everybody who was there, they all seemed like they had been like regulars, that they had been there for a while, and they all knew each other, which is nice.
Absolutely. I think the sort of area we're in down there, we're sort of a little bit, out the way a bit down on the south coast, but the people we do have there, they're regulars from sort of Portsmouth, Southampton, Bournemouth way. So it's really nice because, like I say, you sort of build up friendships and sort of help each other out. So
Well, I'm a northerner because I'm in Cumbria, and so when I check in with a lot of the Academy members in the south, they're like, Patricia, the numbers don't stack. It's too expensive down here. I need to find something up north. And so I'm like, well, there are Academy members doing deals down south. So what kind of advice could you give somebody in the south who
I do totally understand, because I used to think that myself at one point. I think we just sort of it's just works slightly differently. You just have to look at things slightly differently, I guess, down south. So for example, flips work brilliantly, and because I suppose because some of the purchase prices are a little bit bigger, it doesn't always stack on the rental side of things. And that's where the sort of difficulty comes in a bit. But you just have to look more at the different strategies. So, okay, a bog standards at buy-to-let doesn't tend to work so well in the south nowadays. But SAs are brilliant. HMOs can be brilliant. Social housing, when you find the right one, there's not millions, but when you find the right one, that can be brilliant.
Yeah.
Obviously flips, so I think it's just about finding the right strategy and the right property. But there's definitely deals to be had. You just maybe it's just works slightly differently.
Right. What kind of advice could you give somebody who wants to purchase something from auction?
Ooh, from auction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what are the red flags? Give some advice.
Top tips. It should go without saying, but obviously go and view the property. Like, so many people don't actually go and view it, which always amazes me, because they only put like the nice pretty pictures on Rightmove. They don't put the fact that you walk into the next room and there's a blimmin' great crack down the wall.
A
and like
tree
that.
growing through it.
Yeah, exactly. Like the wall's hanging off,
Yeah.
So 100%, view the property. If you can get a survey done, or at least take a builder down with you to make sure you know exactly what you're letting yourself in for. definitely get the legal pack checked. You can pay a solicitor like a few £100 and they'll actually check over the legal pack for you before you go to auction. Because the legal pack, it's not just what's in the legal pack, it's what's missing. And that's another thing I learned on the academy. I never thought of it like that. So they don't always have all the documents in the legal pack for auctions. So it's not just what's in there, but it's what's missing. So a solicitor will be able to look at that for you. What else? Maximum bid. Make sure you work out what your maximum bid is, because it gets so exciting, especially if you're in an auction where you're actually in the room, or if you're at home just bidding online. It can get so, when you're backwards and forwards, it's like bidding, just on eBay or something, except it's like a lot bigger purchase price. Like it's not just like a pair of jeans or anything. So just make sure, just like any property purchase, you work out, you work backwards, work your figures backwards, work out, right, at that price, if I bought the house for that price, I'd be happy, it would stack, and just that's your maximum bid. Whatever anyone else wants to do, let them do it, because if you just don't get caught up, you see so many auctions where, it would have been brilliant, I found so many deals that would be great, and then the auction prices, they just go for crazy prices, and you think, my God, you could probably have bought it all done up for that price, so just stick to your maximum bid, I would say.
Maximum bid, stick to it.
Yeah.
View the property, read the legal pact with the solicitor, make sure that they sign off on it.
Yes.
What kind of red flags from a legal pack would you walk away from a deal?
So the main thing is, I've read so many legal packs now, honestly, like if you have insomnia, it's like the best thing. Like a bit of light reading before bed, you're just like, oh my God, there's so much to it. But I've read so many now that obviously I'm not a solicitor by any means, but you kind of get to know certain bits. So I'd say, and Tatiana will probably say something completely different, our lovely solicitor on the academy. But I would say the most important document is a thing called Special Conditions of Sale, and it will always be in every legal pack. And that basically shows you any of the sort of kind of like weird and wonderful bits. It will show you if there's any extra fees or charges or lots of little hidden fees in auctions, where often you have to pay the seller's legal fees and things like that. I won't bore you with it all now, but the Special Conditions of Sale, that will tell you.
Because that could add on thousands.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I've seen some, most of the time, like the one we're purchasing, it's all really reasonable. It's like, £1,000 for the seller's fees and £200-300 for the searches. But sometimes you see it and it says 4% of the purchase price or something. And you think, my God, that could be like £5,000-10,000. What? So definitely Special Conditions of Sale. I'd also check the title deeds. That tells you if there's any weird covenants that which are things that you can or can't do with the property.
Interesting. Okay.
Again, the one that I'm purchasing has got a very interesting covenant on it.
Tell us.
We're not allowed to sell alcohol from it. You can't do anything alcoholic, or you can't run it as a brothel. That was the other
darn
thing it said.
That was going to stack really well.
I was like, what on earth? But obviously,
did it actually say that?
It actually says that, It literally goes back to like the 1800s or something.
I bet.
So obviously back in those days, things are a bit different. And it actually has a covenant to say if something about basically alcohol and, house of ill repute and all that sort of thing. So it actually specifies. So I was like, I think we're okay for that. I think I can still buy it. But it's sort of those couple of documents tell you, it's normally stuff like, I don't know, maybe if the neighbour has like some sort of right of way over your path through your garden or something, or you're not allowed to put a fence up in the front or things like that, it might just tell you.
A few years ago, I was looking at this giant property. And it was semi-detached, and then on the side of the property that I was viewing, there was this huge outdoor tennis patch of lawn. But part of the covenants was that the neighbor on the other side was allowed to use it. So I couldn't run it as a service accomadation. I'm like, can I just pay
your neighbor could just rock up? Oh yeah, that's it.
So it is strange, isn't it?
Cheeky payment,
Yeah.
But it can be all sorts, can't it? It's just so. I did look at one that had it was like a row of, I think it was 4 terrace houses, and it was the end terrace, and then it had like this huge garden to the side. So, you're thinking, oh, hello,
development.
Build another dwelling on there. And literally, I mean, everything was all perfect for it. And then I looked at the legal pack, and I still wonder to this day whether the person that bought it, whether they saw this in the legal pack, because in the legal pack, there was a covenant that said, when those 4 houses initially went up on that land, there's a covenant to say only 4 dwelling houses can be on this land. In other words, saying,
no more.
Only those 4. I believe there are ways that you can like pay to have covenants removed or something, but it takes, it's no guarantees. It can take years. So you just think, if you miss that, you might be buying that thinking, oh, I can build a couple of houses. No.
No. And you know what? It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Like last week when I was on that property tour with Samuel and everybody.
Big bus tour. That was
big
great.
Bus. It was amazing.
That looked so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
And you had Narelle, she's an absolute crazy.
Narelle.
I love her.
I know. Everybody was amazing. And then
Yeah.
Samuel was taking us from property to property to property, and he was telling us all about, the great things and the horrible things.
Oh, yeah.
And he was telling us about some deals that had some covenants that they didn't realize until afterwards.
Oh, wow. So if
if
the big boys can make the mistakes, then
we can too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So how big is your portfolio going to grow to? Like, what are you aiming for?
So our aim now is to get up to 10,000 a month. Mm-hmm. That's sort of the first goal now.
What is it at right now?
It's difficult because we do flips.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to say. I mean, if you the profit made off the flip was 120,000, and that took us 18 months. So I mean, I guess if you break that down on a monthly, that's maybe 6,000 a month. But you can't really say it like that because it's like a one-off.
It's a one-off that you've reinvested and purchased another property.
So this house that we're buying, like I say, that should be around 2,500 a month. Mm-hmm. So we're hoping to get like, I think probably sort of 5,000 or 6,000 a month on like some social housing or some sort of, BRRs. And then with the idea of maybe doing like one flip a year to sort of top up the cash.
Right.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Have you done all of these property projects on your own, or did you have joint ventures?
It's always been myself, or obviously the recent one was with my partner. Mm-hmm. So he absolutely loves his job as a fireman, but he's coming to the point where he can retire from the fire brigade because they can retire. He's not that old. They can retire a bit earlier.
Really? Okay.
Okay. So he'd like to retire from there eventually, and I'll probably stop flying soon as well because I've been doing that for like decades, as you know. So we're just sort of hoping to build that up maybe over the next year with the idea that maybe sometime sort of maybe by the end of next year we can kind of, get rid of the other jobs and
Great. Yeah. And so what would that look like once you're at your 10,000, you've got your properties, you've both stepped away from your full-time jobs, and then are you on a beach in Greece?
Oh, I'm always on a beach. In my head, I'm always on a beach. It's just, that's always been the thing for me. It's like that freedom of freedom, like time freedom, location freedom, just not having to, I mean, although both of us love our other jobs, which is why we've done them for so many years, but still you can't beat, like you're still working for someone else. You're still like tied to their rosters and, their schedule. So so the idea is just to sort of be financially free for ourselves, just so that you've got that freedom to, like you say, if you want to go on holiday, if you want to go and see a friend or a family member, you can kind of, do what you want, really, isn't it? So
is that your why, to do what you want? Is there something more to it?
I mean, I don't know if you want me to get into the gory details. I've had a few sort of medical issues over the years, which sort of, but I don't talk about it much because I take it as a positive, really, because to me, it's like, it's made me who I am. And I think when you've had difficulty, it doesn't have to be medical. It could be, we all have our difficulties, don't we? But I think when you've gone through something that has affected you, it puts things in perspective, doesn't it? And it just makes you sort of in my mind, I just think you want to enjoy life. And for me, that's my friends, my family, and obviously, holidays is always nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to enjoy every moment, and just not be tied to a job really. So it's I've had my difficulties, but you overcome them, and I'm very much into sort of meditation and things like that I find that really helps sort of ground you and just keep things in perspective, but without getting into on a downer or anything. but yeah, it just sort of makes you aware that you can't always do everything that you want to do, like physically, if you have sort of a difficulty like that, So, but yeah, I don't know. I think I'm getting a bit deep on that.
No, that's okay. And I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you were going through, medical.
Yeah. It's all good now. To be honest, it was in the past, and it was something that could have been quite serious. Thankfully,
can I ask what it was, if it's in the past?
It's difficult to explain. It was I had a very, very serious reaction to some medication basically that I had to take.
Okay.
Which caused pericarditis, which is like inflammation of the heart.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it bearing in mind I spent my whole life really independent, flying around the world, very self-sufficient, very happy, and this literally I could barely go and make myself a cup of tea. I was totally reliant on my partner. I felt it's mentally, it's horrendous, because you're just sort of, I was stuck at home, really, really couldn't do much, and obviously had this heart issue that was very scary. And it's one of those things that the doctors don't know whether it's going to get fixed. It might be forever or it might not. Luckily, and I did so much meditation. To me, that's what helped. Luckily for me, it's all fixed now. It went on for several months, but by some miracle, touch wood, everything is all resolved as if nothing ever happened.
Wow.
So I'm very, very lucky. But when you've been through something like that, it just makes you think, gosh, you just don't know how long you have, without getting depressing. I find it more of a positive, really, because it's just makes you think you just got to live life for now and make the most of it now. I hope that's not too heavy.
No, that's perfect. You know what, Louise? Now I get you a little bit more, because you're so positive. You're so appreciative. You're running around. You're helping everybody all the time.
Oh, thank you.
And now I kind of feel like, I get this a little bit more, because the foundation comes from, you went through something and it was very scary, and now you appreciate every single day, which is amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I want to give you a hug.
Thank you.
Well, we're so lucky to have you in our family.
Oh,
we just love you.
you.
You're just honestly such a ray of sunshine.
I love you guys as well, all of you.
All this love. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
You.
I really appreciate it. Congratulations on all of your success. Thank you for all of your contribution to the Academy, the Inner Circles, being a spotlight speaker, and sitting here with us. I heard that Samuel sent his film crew over to your properties, and they did a bit of a Winners 2.0.
We did.
When does that come out? Do you know?
That literally came out whilst I was away on holiday, about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
I find it.
I know. Literally everything has happened in this last month,
Amazing.
Honestly. So,
and next week you're doing the graduation.
Yes,
right?
We are.
With Hannah
very
and
excited
Adam.
for that. Yeah,
that
really
that
nice
was
group.
amazing for me when I did it a few years ago.
Wait.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna have a good time. Well, thank you so much. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, how would they do that?
Best thing would be on my Instagram, which is Louise Caridia Properties. That's where all my property stuff is. So
that's great.
Always, reply to any messages there.
And if somebody wanted to come to your Inner Circle, would they just reach out for your guest pass?
Absolutely, yeah. Just message me on my Instagram. We can hook you up with like a little guest pass. Come and see us.
That's great. Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks, Patricia.
Oh, I loved this. Well, thanks everybody else. And if you enjoyed this segment, hanging out with Louise Caridia, learning about her whole journey, then please do like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Thanks.